So the dyad practice, yeah, DYAD. So dyad just means two or a pair, because the idea is what you do is you get together with another person virtually for 15 minutes. And I should say this is a practice I learned from a researcher named Dr. Tanya Singer at the Max Planck Social Neuroscience Lab in Germany. She had honed this practice over time, drawing on a practice that would happen at meditation retreats, where you not only do meditation, but where you might sit with another person and hold a question for a repeated period of time. In that case, they did a question of who am I? And that's a very deep question to sit with another person repeatedly again and again. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? But so she took this and adapted it into something which was actually very doable, powerful partner practice that you could do for 15 minutes in your everyday life, where like Dalida and I, we met doing these. And so it's funny to be now talking with you here. I can almost imagine we're back in that space where we would get together just virtually like this, and we would take a minute of silence together. And then you might start by asking me, there's two different prompts that we do during this particular form of partner dyad practice. Yeah, Peter, please share an experience of a difficult emotion in the last day and how it felt in your body. And then I would have 2.5 minutes to self-reflect on that and to share it. And why this is like a meditation or like a mindfulness practice is because I'm doing some self-reflection, right? And this is about me doing the reflection. I'm not trying to communicate anything to you. I'm not trying to impress you or seem smart to you, although sometimes that tendency might try to come up. But I'm just self-reflecting, and your job as the listener is just to give the gift of your full attention. Because this amazing thing happens, which I'm truly fascinated by, that what we share when someone is truly listening is different than what we share when someone is partially listening. Right? If we know that someone's attention is partially elsewhere, either because they're distracted or by their phone, or they're thinking other things, they're thinking about what they're going to say when it's their turn to talk, we ourselves don't go as deep into self-reflection. But when someone else is like really present with us, they're just giving their full attention. This is what I've experienced. I can reflect on something that happened in my day and get some real insight of like, wow, I didn't realize I was feeling that. Wow, I was feeling really sad, or I was feeling scared, but in the moment, I didn't catch it. I didn't notice it. So anyways, the dyad practice, I would just have 2.5 minutes. Okay, here's my challenging situation. You'd then ask me, okay, now share a moment of gratitude, because it's nice to have that balance of a difficult emotion and then a moment of gratitude. And again, I would have the chance to just verbalize out loud, and you would listen, and then we'd switch. And then so I would ask you afterwards, okay, now Dalida, please share an experience of a difficult emotion, how it felt in your body. You have 2.5 minutes for that. I'm just listening now. And then gratitude, and then I'm just listening. And then we close with a minute of silence. So that's the essence of a practice. And that's the structure part of it, is that it's like super structured. There's no small talk. There's no chit chat. There's no advice. It's just one person shares while the other person listens. You switch roles, and then you say thank you and goodbye. And what I have found is I love this practice in 15 minutes, which is something I can squeeze into my day in the middle of meetings. I can get some real insight and even feel more resolved about some emotion that's kicking around in my system that I haven't been as clear on before.
And so there's the regularity and connection, and so it's also working with a different partner every week, right?
That's right. Yeah. So we would do this every day together, and every day for 15 minutes, we schedule it when we can. And then the next week you change to another person who's doing the dyad practice. And that's a really interesting dimension too, because you get exposed to a lot of different people who you would never connect with otherwise. I mean, currently the community I do this with are people from all over the world, and we all know the structure of the practice. We all follow the same rules and the do's and don'ts, so that there's a lot of trust and a lot of psychological safety. And with that, I find I can meet someone, and if we have that shared agreement about what we're doing, someone I've never met before, someone who's in a totally different part of the world, I can feel this real deep sense of connection and shared humanity with them through the practice also. So there's a part of it which is about self-reflection, and there's a part of it which is connecting with another person and really experiencing a shared humanity as someone else shares about their challenges with their kids or their job, or they share their gratitude about the beautiful tree that's outside their